What's up, y'all? Welcome back to some Orcs Must Die Deathtrap. Lots of people have been asking me, so I just kind of wanted to give my opinion on a few standout nodes on the skill tree. Now, I still got lots of stuff to unlock. I have personally favored upgrading traps more than the skill tree. I have mixed and matched a little bit going back and forth, but I did prioritize my traps more than the skill tree itself. Now, when you're looking around the skill tree, you see a lot of things that seem like just small additive nodes. And these are really just kind of traversal nodes on the tree itself, as there is some real standout nodes that I think everyone should really think about, at least shooting for first. Now, first off, the best node on the entirety of the skill tree, in my personal opinion, is the top right corner utility belt. Gain one additional loadout slot. It just doesn't get any better than that. Every run, it's like, well, if I had one more slot, I could put this in here. You're going to get that slot there. So in my opinion, that is the best node on the entirety of the tree. However, I'm not 100% sure I would go for that one first. I would probably consider going for it early. However, particularly as you're progressing through and getting your boss kills down, this anti-boss, deal 50% additional Warmage damage to bosses, is absolutely enormous. Helps you burn the bosses so much faster. Now, looking around at a few other nodes, when it comes to those boss fights, since you're going to be over in this section anyway, this is pretty darn helpful, particularly like I've been using Max the last couple of days for the boss maps, and starting off with Overdrive on Max on a boss map is just absolutely huge. As soon as the boss spawns, I can pop my blade staff and go to town on it. So absolutely beast mode there. So those three are kind of top nodes in my opinion, but there's still, of course, a few more standouts. We've got things like your critical chance. It's only 3%, but these nodes are scattered around the tree, and it's going to give you 3% flat each time, which means just from these three nodes, you're going to have a 9% chance to crit with your actual Warmage damage. So pretty darn huge there. Now, one that I'm working over to next that I'm not at yet is this right here. Warmage strength increases all Warmage damage by 10%. This affects every Warmage, of course. Flat 10%. Good stuff. So I'm going to be shooting for that particular one next. And then we've got another one that is kind of could fly under the radar, I think, but in my opinion, it's a standout. Critical trap damage. All traps now have a 10% chance to critically hit. You can pick this one up pretty easily, just a couple of nodes off as you're heading up to anti-boss. However, the kicker with this one is, by default, you start off at 0% chance to crit. So this is giving you a base crit chance of 10% on your traps. And it's everything. So it's not one specific thing. It's not like just wall traps or just floor traps, etc. It's everything in the mix. So I personally feel like that is an incredibly good node as well. Now, as far as the nodes here that I personally will probably unlock last, we've got a few of them that I feel like they're just not absolutely huge. First off, the Overdrive Potion ones. There's quite a few of these scattered about throughout the map. Overdrive Potion is worth an additional 5%. It's not a bad thing, without a doubt. However, it's not something I am going to shoot for right away. Additionally, Overdrive requires 10% fewer combos. Those as well, there's multiple of those. I'm not going to shoot for those right away either, unless I need them to get something else. And then we got Faster Revive. Revive Warmage is 10% faster. Once again, definitely not a bad thing. There's nothing in here that is bad. However, it is something I personally will shoot for last. And then the absolute bottom of the barrel for me on the entire skill tree are these 10% additional damage to launched enemies. I like playing ranged heroes. Ranged heroes are all about headshots. My aim is a little suspect at best on most days. There's no way I'm going to headshot an enemy that's launched, so I'm just not going to build for that, and I am not going to go for those. Now, that's just me personally, how I like to play. Once again, there's multiple of those in there. You know, as with everything else, it's not a bad thing, but for me personally, it's not a big standout. Now, things like starting with 400 additional rune coin every mission, I mean, that's just, it's a small additive bonus, but it's quite nice. You've got multiple of those as well. Getting a little extra juice in the mix to start things off is never a bad idea. And then I like to use the Sentinels quite a bit. They do get beat up pretty bad when you play the higher difficulties. However, for like anything below, say, 1.5, the Sentinel's crazy effective. So, like, I went into Sentinel Strength over here. I definitely will go into Sentinels having more health here. But for me personally, I'm focused on traps, the key nodes that I personally thought were good. Then next I'm going to be going for more trap nodes, everything, whether it's cost, increased damage. I would like to prioritize the damage first, and then Warmage damage. Remember, this is not the type of tower defense game where you build it and AFK it out. This is a very active action defense game. It's heavy on the action, and with that in mind, any extra power or strength in any way that you can give to your war mages is just going to be absolutely. But just a few standouts for me. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. Number one, though, I think that one right there is without a doubt the strongest node on the board. When it comes to speccing your individual heroes, I got mixed emotions on them. Like Max's, for example, I think his skill tree is awful. I do like playing Max. However, I don't go after a lot of unstable rifts. I feel like that's a completely wasted node. The top one here, of course, that's, you know, never a bad thing. 50% chance to not lose any rift points if you die. Good stuff there. And then the ammo growth ones. There's two of those nodes in a skill tree, and I just don't feel like they're very strong. The strongest thing in all of Max's skill tree, in my opinion, is the Blade Staff damage increase. It's absolutely incredible. Now, each individual hero, some have better skill trees than others. I think Vaughn has a pretty good one. Increased ammo. You got that Rift Lightning, which can save the day in key moments. Rift Point drops are double. I mean, really everything on Vaughn's tree is really, really good. With Ren, I prefer to go after the proximity orbs. I do enjoy playing Ren. I love her self-trap, and I feel like she's got a pretty good skill tree overall. Haven't done anything with Harlow yet, but you do get 2 hits to get Henry using a little more damage. The big deal with Harlow is going to be her boom barrels. There's no doubt about it. You get 200% damage bonus on those. That is going to be absolutely tremendous. On Mac, all about those headshots. You get some nice headshot multipliers right here. You get an increased base chance to crit, and then double the enemy scanned with Max Scanner. I haven't really looked into Kalos at all. I've heard very mixed emotions on this one, or mixed opinions on this one, and I haven't played Kalos at all. I have played Sophie quite a bit, and I do feel like Sophie is probably the strongest straight raw damage offering that we have. She's absolutely incredible. She gets some heals on return. Mixed emotions on her skeleton ultimate. Almost wish it was something a little better. And then mixed emotions on her vampiric jaws as well. The cooldown on them's, you know, it takes forever to get the charges back. Like I said, just mixed emotion. I mean, it is a stun. It's a stun that lasts a long time. you want to use these actively and not build as an actual trap into your. But I do feel very good about Sophie. I love her knife throw. And to be honest, I'm really digging Max right now. So I'm playing most of Max, even though I don't really care for his skill tree itself. But once again, hopefully this helps you all out with navigating some of these skill points. Have a wonderful weekend, and I will see you next time around. Take it easy.